All right, welcome back to Crypto Front. This is the front line where we are fighting together side by side for financial freedom. We want to be taking a look at the Jasmy price. I've got some imported charts that I want to be sharing with you in today's video. But I want to kindly ask you to help me spread the video because really there is a lot of negativity at this point. I think a lot of people have lost hope. We are looking at the fear and greed index by around 35%. So yeah, it's a tough time for a lot of people. But help me spread the video by delicately tapping the like button. It really helps the YouTube algorithm in understanding that this video is relevant. And of course, people looking for Jasmy content as well as information pertaining to the rest of the crypto market will now be able to find this video much more easily. So all week we have been talking about this structure for Jasmy, saying we call this a waterfall crash. And usually we see something like this. Here you go up, you come back, you set a low that is higher compared to the extreme one that you would have set. So we're looking for the Jasmy price that's still to continue rising towards the upside. And then of course here when we get back to something like 2.83 cents thereabout, there has to be a decision which will be made by the price either to continue pushing towards the upside, or we're going to be having somewhat of a drop towards the downside. Probably we're going to be looking at breaking even the lows that we were setting right below here, which is right around, I would say, 1.8 cents thereabout. So these are the two scenarios that we are faced with. But right now I think that there is money that can still be made on Jasmy. I was even posting a trade alert in our private Discord group, which you can join via Patreon if you wish to. So we are right here, and I think we can still have a rise here with Jasmy price. That I'll show you real quick the kind of things that I'm looking at, and we have actually seen some glimpse of those things happening already in the market. I'll give you the example of UX link, and you can see pretty much the same thing, that of course you were also having the crash right along with the rest of the market. You pump here, you can come back, and then you set a higher low. Obviously this one was managing to break all retracement levels, so this one was actually very good. I mean, in terms of profits, we were looking at right around a 54%. So consider that maybe on a 10x leverage or stuff like that, that can actually be something that is very, very much meaningful. Another one that is actually popping very nicely today is Binary X, which is a gaming coin. Maybe a lot of people may not know this, but you can see that even with the drop that we were having across the whole board, you were seeing a waterfall kind of a crash. We pumped right there, we came back, we set a low which really doesn't break this initial low that you would have set there. Then of course it continued pumping very much strongly. This one, in terms of percentages, it has managed to rise a total of something like 105%. So congratulations if you happen to have held this specific altcoin. So coming back to Jasmy, I want you to understand that the thing that we are looking for is not something that is very much difficult to achieve. It's something that we see time and again. So we have a waterfall crash. Obviously we're coming back here, we haven't set a low compared to the 1.8 cents, so there is a very big chance that we'll still be able to rise, at least heading towards that 2.85 cents, 3 cents thereabout. That's still the story here with Jasmy price. Of course, a lot of people are still worried with what is happening in the market. A lot of people think that we may actually be headed into a bear cycle. But I'll show you the things that I consider to say that it's obvious at this point that we are in a bear cycle. So this is Bitcoin, but what we have down here is a bunch of other different altcoins that I just wanted to see, like, okay, back in 2017 when we had like an amazing altcoin rally, when did it actually happen? And I realized one thing, that it actually happened towards the very end of the cycle. So even if you believe that we're going to be beginning a bear market, you have at least to go with consistency, saying that this is the exact time that altcoins really do superb. So you are seeing here in 2017 basically that altcoins had been rising with BTC along the way, but here towards the end, actually after Bitcoin crashed, this is where you were seeing most of the aggressive price action from altcoins. So here we've got the examples of like things like Ethereum Classic, Ethereum itself, Litecoin thereabout, and you can see that they were actually going much more aggressive when Bitcoin had actually crashed, right? So the other thing that we saw in 2021 is that BTC got into a distribution structure. So I forgot to mention that what we are seeing here on top is the Bitcoin price. So you see Bitcoin is distributing, is doing whatever it's doing right before it totally crashed and collapsed. This is exactly the moment that we started seeing altcoins printing big numbers here. You can see that this even didn't last like 3 weeks or something like that. It was really towards the tail end. So this is almost the same moment that we are in at this point, and we have somewhat of a distribution structure that is happening on Bitcoin on top here. And I would expect the altcoins to really start kicking it. So even if you're in the camp that the bull market is over, you have to wait for, the last thing that usually happens, which is altcoins really popping. And, somebody may be saying, did they also crash like 50% during that time before they had like the amazing ones? Yes, they actually did, right? You can see we have BTC here again on top, distributing the whole time it was distributing. I mean, take a look at these crashes that were happening. Right? I mean, this is insane. But all of a sudden, boom, this is, altcoin season, which happened right there. So there are obviously concerns with the BTC dominance and stuff like that. But I think overall, we are still waiting for the one thing that usually happens towards the tail end of bull markets. Now, I wanted to show you what I would consider to say, you know what, the Bitcoin bull run and the crypto bull run basically is over. So we have got this RSI down below here. This is on a monthly time frame, and we have got the moving average on our RSI, as you can see right here. So in 2017 or 2013, I should actually be saying, when the RSI managed to cross below that moving average, this is when it was like, the nail is in the coffin that the bull market is over right there. You can see also the same thing happening in 2018, that, once the RSI was crossing below that moving average on the RSI again on the monthly time frame, this was lights out basically. You also saw the same thing right there in 2021, again break below the moving average on the RSI, and it's lights out. So until this point, we haven't had that, right? So we have two things missing. Number one, these euphoric stages here and here, we don't have it yet. We also don't have the RSI breaking below the moving average. If it happens to break below the moving average, as you can see that we are approaching that level there, we need maybe about 3 weeks until the end of this month for there to be any sort of confirmation right there. So until this happens, I don't think that we are in a bear market. I really believe that we're just working on the tail end of the bull run, which usually is a great thing here. So for Jasmy, once again, we are looking at this V-shaped recovery forming, and we're looking to see if we can get a higher retracement, which is like 2.8 cents. Then from there, obviously a decision has to be made whether to continue pumping or we're going to be dumping. So we have to be prepared for both scenarios at this point. A lot of people are worried, but you have to man up really and make a decision that saves you. For me, I'm looking at that RSI on the Bitcoin price and saying that, you know what, these things, I think they will mark the top or stuff like that. We also have got very interesting things happening in the market right now. You see, this is the weekly crypto ETF flows, right? And you see that Ethereum is doing double what the Bitcoin price is doing. But when you take a look at the price section of 2, Ethereum is doing worse. The world is actually manipulating Ethereum. I mean, this is not a conspiracy theory at this point. So when Ethereum rises, and when people are choosing Ethereum, the good thing about Ethereum is it rises all boats. So that's pretty cool. So I hope you understand where we are with the Jasmy price, that we are looking to push a little bit higher. And yeah, I'll be updating you obviously every now and then. Maybe you can follow me on X so that, sometimes I make quick updates and, you can be able to see things in real time. Take care of yourself. If you want to be joining the Discord group, the private Discord group for trades and stuff like that, you can feel free to join the Patreon. It's like $84 for the whole year. You don't need to worry about it. Actually, I'm thinking of making it a lifetime kind of a thing, right? You just join once and we'll be friends for the rest of our lives. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.